Are you subscribed to the MJ Today Media newsfeed email newsletter? If you love legal marijuana news, you need to be. The newsfeed is where our day really begins as we pull together the 50 or so daily news headlines relevant to your world and organize them all by state to be sent out before 7 a.m. every Monday through Saturday morning. Our email newsletter is sparse in formatting and pretty much just gives you all the information you need to know with zero fluff. And we know it's working because of the stupidly high open and click-through rating that we see with each daily edition. Get in on all the news you need to know by rounding out your consumption of MJ Today Media content. Sign up for the newsfeed over at mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. That's mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, September 11th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 327 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the big news that broke on Friday as the U.S. Congress voted to extend protections for state legal medical marijuana until at least December 8th. This is a long-running issue for legal marijuana, with federal officials like Attorney General Jeff Sessions barred from persecuting medical marijuana because of the Rohrabacher-Blumenauer Amendment, a piece of legislation that's been bouncing around in D.C. as a year-to-year measure since first being introduced in 2003 as the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment. There was some concern in recent days in medical marijuana circles as a key congressional committee neglected to take up debate on the issue, but on Friday, the extension of the measure was included as part of a larger spending bill tied to disaster aid, government funding, and the increase of the debt limit. Turning north to Canada, we find the big news out of the province of Ontario that the structure for their legal marijuana system, set to come online next summer, was announced, and a lot of people are not happy with it. The government's plans call for all legal adult use marijuana to be sold at government-owned and operated dispensaries, similar to how states like New Hampshire sells liquor in the United States. The government will also set up a website allowing customers to make online purchases for home delivery. The plan sets the legal age of consumption at 19 years and only allows for marijuana to be used in private homes. In a press conference announcing the details of the plan on Friday, Ontario Attorney General Yasir Naqvi said that every existing dispensary in his province was illegal and would be shut down. This obviously has a lot of people in Ontario upset. Swing over to Leafly for the full read on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Our final top story of the day bounces us back down just over the border from Canada to Michigan, where that state's legal medical marijuana industry is facing a short-term crisis of existence, as a few of the members of the Medical Marijuana Licensing Board have come out in favor of a plan to shut down every dispensary in the state as soon as possible while state cannabis officials work out licensing for their newly expanded system set to roll out sometime next year. This headline has been brewing for a few weeks now, but the Detroit Free Press has a good update to the story that includes the news that there are actually dispensaries in the state voluntarily shutting down in fear of angering officials tasked with handing out the new licenses. This is a huge issue for patient access and fairness, as there are many, many good upstanding dispensaries in Michigan who've been operating for years above board and in full cooperation with local officials. In full disclosure, one of our longtime sponsors, the Ohm of Medicine, is a medical marijuana dispensary located in Michigan and would be affected by any ordered closing. But I think it's pretty obvious that I'd be against any such shutdown, even if they weren't a sponsor. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, MJ Today Media, the small little publishing company responsible for this podcast, our weekly show Marijuana Today, and the ever-popular MJ Today Media newsfeed email newsletter. When you think legal marijuana news, you should think MJ Today Media, where we exist entirely to bring you all the news, curation, and analysis that you need to survive and thrive in this crazy, ever-dynamic industry of ours. Find links to all our projects and sign up for the newsfeed over at mjtodaymedia.com. That's mjtodaymedia.com. All right, time for the blitz. The New York Times has a great piece up about the challenges of convincing marijuana farmers in California to convert over from selling to the illicit market to becoming fully registered and licensed operators. Click over for the full read on this one. Joey Bunch of ColoradoPolitics.com wrote an insightful article about the warming of Colorado Republicans to the benefits of legal marijuana, specifically focusing on conservative state lawmakers who are now casting their votes in favor of legal marijuana legislation. The article calls out the growing support for legal cannabis in Colorado GOP circles as a particular challenge for prohibitionists like Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who risk alienating pro-marijuana voters and allies with his harsh reefer madness rhetoric. Sticking in the mile-high state for another headline, we have Colorado's nascent hemp industry still working out opening kinks after 3 years of legal operation, with an expected haul of 9,000 acres projected for the state's upcoming fourth harvest. Hemp farmers face the same challenges that their adult use and medical cannabis growing peers face, even though their products share none of the mind-altering characteristics of traditional marijuana. With hemp still tied up with marijuana in the federal government's eyes, this means hemp cultivators have trouble getting seed stock, opening bank accounts, and expensing business expenses on their taxes. Congratulations to everyone over at Leafly for getting into the podcasting game with the launch of their new show, The Roll-Up, a weekly title featuring Leafly editors and writers talking about some of the week's more important news stories. Always glad when serious titles jump into the marijuana podcasting space. Their first episode has been posted up on Leafly, though not on iTunes yet. I listened to that first episode and liked what I heard. Swing over to Leafly and give a listen. ARS Technica dug up an interesting bit in an extensive list of emergency legal marijuana regulations issued by the state of California last week that specifically bars flying drones from delivering adult use or medical cannabis to customers. Bummer. Speaking of illegal delivery services in California, NBC's San Diego 7 published a really good long-form article looking at the high number of unlicensed marijuana delivery services available within the city of San Diego, with their count landing somewhere around 300 or so, each one of them illegal in the eyes of city officials. Click over for the full read on this one. And finally for today, not that they really needed to, but the Washington Post took some time and fact-checked President Trump's oft-made claim that his stupid border wall idea would stem the flow of illegal drugs coming from Mexico. As the Washington Post points out, that couldn't be further from the truth. But then again, that applies to nearly everything President Trump says, so. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, MJ Today Media, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.